I have always been an outsider in every industry that I've ever worked in, including Bollywood. That's what I do. I am the outsider. But I relate to those industries in different ways. It's not easy being an outsider because, people form groups, cliques, etc. And nobody's obliged to give work to an outsider. How many roles are we writing for Americans? We are not obliged to. They're not obliged to write roles for Indians. So those are battles that you have to fight. Those are journeys you have to make after a considerable amount of thinking. It is a huge risk, especially when going abroad. And for actors in particular, you are less limited if you're not an actor, because at least you might have a brilliant showreel that impresses somebody to do something. But an actor is necessarily defined by who he is and what he looks like, what he sounds like. Every society has its barriers. These barriers can be institutional. You have to find agents, which is one of the hardest things in the world. You have to join unions, which is one of the hardest things in the world. You have to get work permits, which is one of the hardest things in the world. You have to be legal in various other ways, which is one of the hardest things. So, working internationally, you're stacking the decks against yourself. You're really asking for trouble and you're really asking for lots of complications in your life. But then I'm that kind of guy. If I want to do something, I just take it on and somehow see it through. Not that everything I wanted happened, but a lot of what I never expected did happen. So everything has its consolations. I'm very deeply grateful to Bollywood that they didn't make me so successful here that it was impossible to leave, because that gave me the world. So I was able to balance my career here and balance a career abroad. But yes, I see myself as an outsider everywhere. And how I've survived, I don't know, but I'm still here. He shouldn't, as my life has shown, but there are two separate journeys. Because it's hard enough succeeding as an actor within your own industry. To succeed as an actor in other people's industries is just that much harder. It's not worth the hassle, it's not worth the pain, it's not worth the uncertainty, it's not worth everything else it brings with it. Because you see the survivors, you don't see the 1,000 that fail for everyone that succeeds. But having said that, you're in it. You're here as an actor. You made that decision. So I can take you to step 2, which is that, as I said earlier, do it first because you love the craft, because you love acting. If you are acting because you love acting, you will always find a way. Even theatre is beginning to pay now. Television is certainly a lodestone of things, and they give you regular jobs as long as you're working. And film is the icing on the cake. Really speaking, in terms of career strategy, it is better to aim for television as a medium, because there's a lot more work there, it's more regular, and it's more paying. But theatre is also increasingly an option. And film is certainly something you must always aspire to. And there's no harm in looking for good scripts. If you find a really good script or a really good story, and you register it or are inspired by it in some way, you can leverage your role with the director, saying, I'll give you the story, but give me the role. I met Arnold Schwarzenegger in 1978. At that time, Arnie had sort of done a few films, and I said to him, so how'd you break in, Arnie? He said, I invested in scripts. That's what he did. I said, but you have a lot of real estate investments. He said, yeah, for the profits of that, I invest in scripts. So he'd create these scripts, saying, I want action, but I want a touch of humor, unlike any other action film at the time. And he'd go to the studios and he'd sell the things. So he basically made his own career. So that's one way of doing it. The other thing is, get noticed. Get noticed. That's not easy, but find ways to get noticed, whether it's through the work you do or appearances you make, or whether it's a commercial you do or anything. Whatever it takes to get noticed. But above all, enjoy the craft, because as long as you're doing that, you're having fun along the way, and who knows where it leads to. Casting in Bombay. You see, it's not, very often it's not actors that find roles. Roles find actors. A director got a certain role in mind, a certain character in mind, and he has a certain conception of that character, and he's going to cast who fits that conception. Thoda upar niche ho sakta hai, you can say, okay, I don't want Baman, I'll take Anupam Kher because he's available. You know, there are ways of doing things. But really speaking, here and abroad, the business of casting is largely the business of typecasting. People are not looking for a white actor to play Othello or a black actor to play Hamlet. They're looking for, firstly, you must be the right type, and then have the right skills, etc., and then fall within their budgets and prices and availability. But casting used to be a very random thing. Today it's far more organized, in Bollywood especially. A lot of the big studios, from Yash Raj to UTV and all these people, have very capable casting people that really know who's there. So if you've done a play, if you've done an ad, if you've done various things that bring you to the attention of people, or a role, really interesting small role in a film, they are aware of it. But also, it doesn't hurt to remind people. Don't assume that you because you've done a role in a film that everyone's talking about because all your relatives are talking about it, that the people that matter know about this role. You have to make a little DVD, make a little CD, put it on memory stick, go to the people and make sure they see it. You know, I was at Olive one day, I was talking to my friend Ashok Amritraj, and this little filmmaker came, and on his phone, tapped in, and he showed him the promo of a film that he wanted to make. Now, when you're going to get Ashok Amritraj to sit down and watch a promo of your film, it took Ashok a minute's time. He didn't want to do the film, he didn't like the promo. But he admired the fact that somebody had taken the initiative to show him that promo on his phone in 1 minute, in a non-obtrusive way, at Olive. He said, no, that's the spirit. I like the spirit of this guy. I like the spirit of this guy. I wish he'd shown me a promo that I wanted to do, I would have done it. So make sure people see your work. Put it on your phone. Just make sure they see it. Don't be shy about it. Nobody's counting. Do what it takes to get the job done. That's the bottom line.